but it will be Vicente Reyes in lemon yellow in front of the terrace of Woking fans.
Yeah, it's a nice crackling atmosphere actually, Jono. There's a terrace away to our left behind the goal where the Woking fans are, and they're coming good numbers today, facing a League One side, of course. Use opposite us, and as you say, away to the right in the small block of seats in that huge stand away to our right behind the goal. They're anticipating and will want an entrance into the second round. Draw tomorrow afternoon, of course.
It will be United to take the kick-off, having lost the toss. So will be United from left to right. Yellow Black Army is a cry from the travelling Amber Nation as a ball back to Reyes, who will look to launch it down the left-hand side. Worked on and helped out by James Brophy. And the thing about this all-green Sharps Rifles kit, if the floodlights aren't fantastic, players do kind of merge into the background.
They do a little bit, and we're fairly low sat. One of the lower seats in terms of rows in this main stand, so not quite at eye level, but not too far off.
There's United making progress down the left-hand side with a throw, perhaps level with the edge of the area, which will be left for that far side. Long throw to be launched into the box. And United bringing all bar Bennett forward for this one. Will be hurled into the area. Now they decide they're not going to put everyone forward. Paul Digby hangs back a little bit. It's Gibbons with the throw. Looks for the flick at the near post. Half cleared by the Woking defence, and on that far side it's hooked away in the end and out for the throw, which came off United boot last for throw to Woking deep in their own half. 0-0 early stages. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire on an overcast, mizzly kind of day.
Yeah, it's a bruising sky, isn't it? I'm not sure if any rain is forecast for a little bit later, but it looks like it could possibly fall. And for the U's, really, say about getting the job done today, be professional about what you do, and Solly Carco up top alongside Dan Lunderley. First game he's started since Wickham away on the 21st of September.
Liam Bennett in possession, but swathed with that headband from the cut on the head last Saturday. Ball down the line from Okadina, but that'll run away. That's easy for Dyche to see out and out for the goal kick. United a little more direct in the last few weeks, and it's paid off for them. And, getting the balance right is the trick, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting once Josh Stokes, Dan Barton and one or two others are back, whether they continue to adopt this style of play, having one or two more artistic players in the 11 and perhaps on the bench as well. But defensively, it certainly helped United, just taking the pressure off with those 3 clean sheets as well, Jono.
Early stages, Kachunga's further forward and Kaiko behind the front two. And Kaiko will trace it down on the halfway line. He's got it, and he'll work it forward towards Lunderloo. He's just beaten away, but Kaiko will pick it up. Ball forward by Smith, looking for the ball down the left-hand side. Lunderloo will trace into the corner. Defender across. And Lunderloo puts pressure on him, and in the end the ball just runs away, and they just ran out of pitch, and the ball out for the goal kick. A bit of pace from Lunderloo, putting a bit of pressure there on Timmy Odesina, and for a moment the Woking centre-back couldn't cope with it.
No, the ball just ran away from Dan Lunderloo as well. In the end, it's a very damp surface. They watered it before the game as well, Jono, didn't they? So, yeah, just ran out of legs and a little bit of pitch, and certainly hitting that left-hand channel, though.
Escalainen with a pale yellow shirt gets the ball away, nodded back by Morrison and out for a throw to Woking, just inside Woking territory on their right-hand side. They are mainly white shirts with a red half to the front, but not much on the back. And we'll take the throw. Black shorts, black socks. Woking 18th in the National League, and the ball goes back to Odesina, who plays it across rather heavily, actually. Goes back towards his keeper. No pressure from United. It was a safe enough back pass. Jaskalainen will launch it away left-footed over the head of everyone apart from Vicente Reyes, who can backpedal and collect it safely inside his 6-yard box.
Yeah, Liam Bennett still sporting that headband after set 2 with Mason Bennett at Burton last Saturday, so taking no chances, Liam Bennett. He's staying covered up.
Well, it's either that or they attached it so firmly you can get the wretched thing off after the game. Anyway, United going for Kachunga and Digby, nodding it wide towards Bennett on the right-hand side. Scampers away down the line with a player with him, and he just clipped him. Damon Lewis Brendan Lewis just clipped Bennett, and United will have the free kick. Perhaps 3 yards in from this right touchline, 20 yards from goal. Bennett stands over it, without Danny Andrew, of course, today, who would take a lot of the set plays. He's on the bench.
Yeah, one to great effect last Saturday, of course, helped United win the game.
Bennett and Kai standing over it just at the moment. He's with plenty forward, Woking everyone back. One man Wall wants another man to join him. He does now. Bennett signals and delivers it in towards the near post, where it's nodded away at that near post. United will look to win it back, and in the end it's Kaiko who does so, and his touch is a little heavy and the ball out for the throw to Woking just inside their own half. Barry Corr looks over the shoulder of Chickson, who takes the throw. The ball back, and it's clipped forward by Dyche over the halfway line. Moore climbs, gets something of it. Okadina goes to ground. Moore gets the ball down again, level with the edge of the area on this left-hand side. Back it comes towards Jamie Andrews, cross into the area, hooked away awkwardly by Brophy. It'll come back towards that right-hand side. Kelly Evans looks to return pass, doesn't come. Hughes will look to chase him out, and has done so. It's picked up by Odasuna on the halfway line, over on that right-hand side. Woking from right to left. United numbers back behind the ball, and Woking forced back into their own half, where they'll go all the way back to the keeper. United chasing them out, keeping them pinned in at the moment, 0-0.
Yeah, you get a sense Woking, they'll pick and choose their moments to go forward. They don't want to get caught out by United, especially on the break. United do have that element of pace about them.
As Odasuna got the ball back to him, and just a piece of miscontrol that nearly allowed Soleil Kaikai in, but didn't quite, and in the end the ball comes back through to the keeper. Kaikai now further forward, and Kachunga behind him, so almost a 3 in an attack at times for United.
It is, it'll be fluid of course, but certainly when they're going forward it will end up being a 3-4-3, won't it?
Kaikai controls, but is crowded out on halfway. Digby will nod the ball forward though for the use and get it sit back, looking to send it wide towards this near side. Bennett has to stretch to keep it in. Pass was behind him, ball back in field towards Digby, looking for Bennett, who was just blocked off. Woking will have the throw on the halfway line. Barry Corr with a rueful look at the fourth official, and the ball back to Jaskalainen, who chips it over Lundalu cleverly. And Dyche back in possession, thought about the quick ball forward and then wanders forward. Chickson plays it in field, and little turn on this near side. Beautyman wide to Moore, level with the edge of the area, into the box now. Moore onto his right foot, looking to get the shot away, can't do so. Work back to him as well, just inside the area. Come back towards Andrew, cross towards the right hand side, towards Evans Kelly. Deep cross into the area again, looking for the runners, and that will bounce. And Kachunga will allow that to go out for the goal kick. So United just needing to be a little bit careful there, and we're told that by Gary Monk very animatedly from the edge of his technical area.
Yeah, 1-2 players left over, and we had to work hard just to close that particular situation down. There were men free on the edge of the box. As you say, Jono, United just need to be very, very careful. They will be dominant, you would imagine, throughout this game, but Woking, as we said, they'll be cautious, they'll pick and choose their moments, and United need to be on their guard when those moments come.
On ball forward to Lundalu, being held, flicked on. Kachunga can't quite get there, it's away but blocked. Moore though will look to work it on to Beautyman charging. He's got a man on the left hand side, if he can pick out Lewis, and does so. Lewis looks for the man on the overlap, eschews that option, steps in field onto his right foot, and a low tame shot scuffed well wide of the near post, with Reyes able to amble across and watch it carefully as it rolled a yard or so wide of the near post. But just for a moment, Woking tails up 0-0, 8 minutes in.
Yeah, he just cut it on his right foot, didn't he, Lewis? Second spell at Woking for him, and just about managed to make enough room for the shot, but yeah, just it's a real scuffed across the turf in the end. But yeah, 1 or 2 moments for Woking. United having to come back in numbers at times.
That's it, ball forward. Kai just nudged off it slightly by Odasina. One back by Gibbons, helped on over the halfway line. Kai with a head, which finds touch on this near side, the Woking left, where they will look to take the throw. Goes back towards Dyche and then back to his keeper. Jaskalainen will launch it away towards that right hand side. Moss beaten in the air. Hughes will get it forward. Good head forward, brought down nicely by Kai on the left hand side, ball back in field, looking for Smith. Smith rolls it across, his pass is under hit. He's looking for Okadina, couldn't find him, and Woking in possession on the halfway line. Ball round the corner towards Moore. Moore just closed down by Digby and forced back. He's held onto the ball well. There's Dion Moore.
It was a sloppy pass, wasn't it, from Smith across centre of the park. Nowhere near enough weight on it.
It's Woking in possession and enjoying plenty of it at the moment. Inside their own half at the moment, though. With Odesina again going back to his keeper. United won't mind that too much.
Yeah, they are a side, especially at Conference League level, that do try and have large spells of possession with the ball and try and dominate, but obviously a different situation for them this afternoon.
Bennett with a clip down the line and a calm piece of heading ability from Max Dyche, who steers it back to his keeper.
Yeah, son of Sean, of course.
Of course.
Manager these days at Everton.
He's got the ball back now and he'll launch it away right-footed. Nothing sophisticated about that, as Lewis tried to keep it in, but that was almost impossible ball for him. It's out for the throw to United, 0-0. He's
on loan from Northampton at the moment. He's Max Dyche, his second loan spell with Woking. He's a decent prospect. We saw him a couple of times actually in a Northampton shirt against United.
There's a use in possession. Gibbons, it's a hopeless ball for really. He was looking for Lundaloo and overclubbed the pass by some distance, but Woking will play out of the back. But to Dyche, who'll clip it away down the left hand side. Across comes Dribble Okadina, nods it away for the United. Worked on by Andrew, but there's a good challenge back by Corey Smith. He's got himself out of a bit of a tight spot. Finding Lundaloo, holds it up well on halfway. Goes wide towards James Gibbons on the left-hand side. 10 yards short of the halfway line. Gets the ball back from Brophy. Looks a return pass, and United calmly keeping possession via Michael Morrison with 12 minutes in on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. FA Cup. Ball down the line towards Bennett, who's quickly closed down, but he can force the throw. Ball rattles on the old dugouts and then on to the new dugouts, which aren't quite the same. The old ones look like a bus shelter and the new ones look like a newer bus shelter. United back in possession, and they go all the way back to Reyes, who plays it out calmly towards Gibbons, who's closed down, but time to get it away. Kai goes to the ground looking for an ambitious free kick, nothing doing. The ball flicked wide and Moss on the attack, ball into the area, looking for more. Good head away by Gibbons, and then it's nodded clear by the United defence, but it's not away yet, and he'll go wide again towards that right hand side, down the line towards Kelly Evans, quickly closed down, and Woking with another throw, level the edge of the box.
Yeah, good physical challenge, wasn't it, from James Gibbons. We need a bit of that this afternoon at times.
Back it'll come from the short throw, level the edge of the area. Ball half closed down. United will look to counter-attack. Kachunga finds Kaiko and back to Digby. Digby close to halfway. He's finding Kachunga on the halfway line. Wide to Okadina on the right-hand side. Wider still is Bennett. Wanted it in front of it, got it behind. Gets it back to Dribble Okadina. Michael Morrison will take a touch and look for Okadina again on the halfway line. Close down again, and again United just being hounded a little bit.
Yeah, pressing well at the moment, Woking. It took them a few minutes to work themselves into this game, but yeah, they're high energy.
Morrison plays it forward. Nice pass as well. Looking for Elias Kachunga, who turns nicely down the right-hand side. Pushed to the ground by Jamie Andrew, and United will get the free kick on this right-hand side. And again, Bennett and Corey Smith probably will come across to have a look. In fact, Smith goes into the middle, and Kai comes across to have a look. Instead, it's almost the exact place that had a free kick which didn't go too well just a few minutes ago.
Yes, hope the delivery is a touch better. Woking have been first the most that's come into the box and just need that little bit of extra quality at times in these situations to use.
Level the edge of the area, right hand side, perhaps a couple of yards in from the touchline. Bennett with the right foot, Kai offering perhaps with the left. Plenty forward in Sharp's Rifles green for United. It will be Bennett to take it towards Kai. Short, and he'll get it down the line. Bennett delivers across, deep far post. It's hooked away awkwardly, and it's for Sully Kai. Kachunga took a touch off him, and that allowed the clearance to be made. It was just a little too deliberate almost, and as a result became a bit fluffy, really, the build-up.
Exactly. I'm not sure Sully Kaikai was particularly impressed by having the ball whipped off of his foot as he was just about to shoot, with a wry smile towards Elias Kachunga.
Long clearance from Reyes, and Kaikai challenged in the air. Didn't get there. The ball runs through to Jaskalainen, the Woking keeper. Quarter now gone. Woking 0, Cambridge United 0.
Yeah, if you recognise that name, son of Jussi is Will Jaskalainen, who played many games for Bolton at the top level. Yeah, it's a cagey opening to this game, certainly, Jono, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
He's not quite got into their stride at the moment in terms of their passing game. Need to get that going.
Ball out towards Dyche again. Looks to be the ball player, then launching it forward. And, well, that's inch perfect if he was looking to pick out one of the ball boys behind the goal.
Yeah, the ball boy almost didn't have to get out of his seat, did he? But, a little bit irked he looked as he had to climb up from his seat, step a few yards to the left and collect the ball. But yeah, they are mixing it up and trying those long balls on occasions, Woking, but overplayed once again on that occasion.
It's quarter hour gone. Hughes with the clearance from Reyes into a bit of a crowd of red and white shirts. United get it away, and Brophy, she tried to break down that side, was flattened by Moss, and that will be a free kick on the halfway line, and should be the first yellow card of the afternoon to Dan Moss.
Yeah, he took it straight out of his pocket, the referee, not brandished it just yet, but he was clear in terms of his decision on what he was going to do on that occasion, the referee.
Yeah. Okay, so it was Moss who sent Brophy rolling and gathered a card. 16 minutes in. First noteworthy note, really, of any description, Doug, is a booking for Dan Moss United with a free kick just inside Woking territory, which Brophy stands over and angles it forward, looking for the flick on from Morrison, gets it into the area, stooping header away. United will drive forward again, 10 yards outside the box. Morrison in possession, will look to clip it into the area, again a stooping header away. That wasn't a great cross, but he'll get another chance. Morrison, a little mazy run, then a deep crossbar post where it was just too much on it, and it drifted beyond Kachunga and out for the goal kick.
I was going to say
still 0-0.
Third time lucky in a sense for Michael Morrison in terms of getting his cross into the box. The first, second especially, was really poor in terms of its delivery, but that one he was looking for Elias Kachunga, wasn't he, at that back pin, but yeah, overclubbed it a little bit, and Kachunga, he started to try and make a run to reach it and realised it was forlorn.
He actually had a bit of a run at it as well, because he had a little bit of space there.
Yes, he did, but so all down to the lack of delivery in terms of quality for Morrison on that occasion.
Morrison with a header away, held up by Lundaloo. Kachunga into a crowd scene. Hughes will settle for the throw, just 10-15 yards inside their own half, which Dribble Okadina will take on this right hand side, down the line, looking for the flick, gets it from Kachunga, but it wasn't quite enough on it, but they will chase it down. The ball hooked away, and a thumping challenge from Okadina, and a real clash of heads. Okadina came in for it. There's a Woking man down as well, two players down off the pitch in the technical areas, and Okadina, I think, had to go for it. And it was a bit of a wild one from the Woking man, which Morrison is making that very point about. It was the Woking man who was mistimed, and I think he's got worse off from that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not entirely sure which way he's given the free kick, if any, but it's Jubril, he's down on his haunches at the moment. Jubril right in front of us. We can see through a little bit of perspex in the dugout in front of us. We can't see the near touch line, but we can see Jubril. He's just starting to get to his feet. But you're right, Jono, the Woking man certainly come off worse.
It was a wild one as well. It was a little bit late as well. It was mistimed, most certainly.
Denon Lewis, I think, isn't it?
I think it is, yeah. Referee just having a word with several people. Fourth officials there. Woking manager Michael Doyle is there as well. Dribble Okadina having close words with the referee. This is Dan Lundaloo now. Okadina.
There's a little bit of a concern here for Louis. He doesn't look in a good shape at all, does he? They rolled him onto his back, and
yeah, it was late rather than malicious, I think. And there will be a card to be shown. He was about a yard late going for it, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, yeah.
And
not
as a
clever
result,
at all.
it was a bit wild and a bit woolly, and a card will be shown. Referee making a note. We'll just wait for him to brandish it in the correct direction.
But still no sign of we think it's Denon Lewis. He's still strewn on the turf, and yeah, this is going to be a lengthy stoppage, I think.
I think it is, yeah. It's Lewis will. It is Lewis who's being attended to. When he does come to, he's going to see a card shown in his direction for a dangerous play, I think, rather than the foul, but it amounts to the same thing.
Yeah, in a roundabout way, this will help United to a sense, in that they're now managing to get one or two messages across. There's lengthy conversations between Jason Ewell and the players, likewise Gary Monk, Sully Kaikai, Les Kachunga and Dan Lundlu as well, so the three forward-thinking players for United. So yeah, just gives them that little bit of breaking play to get one or two things across, you would imagine.
Yeah, the working man's off the pitch at the moment, but I think he might have an ear on the pitch, maybe a hand as he's strewn there, and the stretcher's come across, not of its own, but it's been brought across by a single stretcher bearer. I think they need more than that, as they are going to try and help the Woking man off the field. It is Denon Lewis.
Yeah, sign from Boreham Wood, his second spell at Woking. And I'm not sure he's going to continue here.
I don't think he is. I still think he's going to get shown the card, but he'll be get shown the card from his position on a stretcher.
Well, first and foremost, of course, we hope that the Woking man he's okay and it's nothing too serious.
Okadina's on his feet and being patched up by the medical team at the moment. They have got more than the one piece of bandaging that Liam Bennett's wearing.
I was going to say he's not had to borrow Liam Bennett's temporarily.
That would be. I don't think they're allowed to do that now since COVID, probably. Maybe before.
Well, you would hope that there's a healthy-looking first aid kit.
There would be.
There is another one in there somewhere.
Absolutely, most certainly. So Lewis on a stretcher for Woking after that late challenge, ended up with a clash of heads, and he does get shown the yellow card whilst lying on a stretcher. You don't see it too often. The referee again got it spot on.
Yes, he did. I mean, he came clattering into Djibril Okadina, who actually did well to avoid the full force of it, and was down just for a couple of minutes or so. But as we say, Denon Lewis, I mean, it was clumsy, but we just hope he's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So he'll be carried away and will be replaced by Raheem Conte. He's more of a central midfielder, actually, but will fit into that same position, midway point of the first half here on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire with me, Mark Johnson, Doug Shulman alongside. It's Wycombe 0, it's Woking 0, Cambridge United 0.
Yeah, it's a lengthy stoppage, wasn't it? It must have been at least 4 or 5 minutes. It certainly felt like it, and quite a bit added on at the end of the regulation 45. And
so Bennett will take the free kick just on the halfway line. Okadina will come on, so long ball forward, looking for the nod on, half cleared, hoisted back in towards that far post where Morrison climbed, and Smith trying to charge in, couldn't quite get there. Woking clear their lines and backpedaling and scampering back. James Brophy controls the ball nicely and turns and goes calmly back to the keeper. Okadina about to re-enter the fray. The fresh shirt, freshly laundered. As the long ball forward from Reyes, too much on that. They'll go through and out for the goal kick. It is 0-0.
Yeah, no real flow to this game. So I know we've had the stoppage as well, but it's a little bit scrappy, isn't it?
Okadina's back on. So United restored.
No number on the back of his shirt, but I think we can recognise him.
Yep.
I'd be worried if he couldn't. There's a word for Djibril Okadina, actually. And you consider he was transfer listed towards the end of last season, so during the summer, and worked his way back into not only the squad but the 11, performing well.
As Okadina with a head away, no harm done. United will settle for the throw as it's cleared The throw to the U's just inside their own half. Okadina floats it forward, flicks off a Woking head once, then twice. Bennett gets it forward. It's a chase for Kachunga down the right-hand side. He might get there, and he does. Looks to get to the byline. Cross charge down. The United settle for the first corner of the match. 25th minute. 0-0. Chance for United to get men forward. Liam Bennett will stay up for the corner. United will push Morrison forward. Gibbons hangs back, and Woking bring everyone via Raheem Conte, the sub, back for defending.
Good purposeful run, wasn't it, actually, from Blaise Kachunga, and beat off the defender to ensure that he won that corner.
Bennett then with the corner, right-footed, out swinging in front of that tall seated stand. Really smart, newish stand now. He takes it in towards the near post, flicks through most. Might be kept in by Gibbons, and he is on the left-hand side. Down the line, looking for Smith. He'll look to turn, clips it in. Deep far post, too much on that. And that's out for the goal kick. And that was rather wasteful from the U's again. 25 minutes in goalless.
Yeah, very wasteful. And 3 times now he's held up a hand in apology, Corey Smith. You could see that as soon as it left his right foot, another hand of apology, that's 4, so he knows he's done wrong, and a fifth. But yeah, as soon as it left his right foot, you knew there was too much weight on it, and there's plenty in the box there, so yeah, just passing up the opportunity to make things a little bit more challenging for Woking on that occasion.
As United with a head forward from Okadina, worked on by Lundaloo over the halfway line. It's hoiked back towards halfway where Smith wins a powerful header. Lundaloo caught in between 2 challenges. Kai goes to ground. Woking back in possession, clipping it forward, controlled nicely by Beautyman. Gets the ball wide towards the left-hand side, clipped down the line, looking for the run of Conte. Bennett goes with him and will get there first, and will look to turn and waits to draw the foul, which the referee doesn't give, and rightly not. And Bennett will turn and clip it off the Woking man. Now it goes for the goal kick. Well, he got there in the end, but he didn't get there quite in the method he intended by looking for the free kick, which wasn't forthcoming. In the end, played it well off Conte and out for the goal kick. It is 0-0.
You could see exactly what was in his mind. He got in front of the man. That's what he wanted to do initially, Liam Bennett, just to protect the ball, and he was looking for the slightest of contacts for him to go to ground, and ordinarily he'd win the free kick, but the referee having none of it on that occasion. Good to see, actually, because I think there's too many cheap free kicks awarded in those situations.
Yep. Ball headed away by Woking. Morrison brings it down in his chest. Will go across to Gibbons on the left-hand side. Use 0, Woking 0 here in Surrey. United with the ball back in Morrison's possession. Wide towards Gibbons again. Drills it forward, right-footed. Looking for Lundaloo. Goes through him and a Woking man. Across comes Kachunga. He'll keep it in. Level the edge of the area on the right-hand side. Looking to turn. And he's got away from Chicks and on towards Bennett. Bennett to the box. Cross the face of goal and flashes past everyone. And out for the throw to Woking. Lovely counter-attacking from United. Kachunga feeding Bennett. Bennett's cross was wicked and low and inviting the touch, and no one was able to RSVP.
No, he just wanted a touch from someone. He played it in with real pace. Just a touch, would have seen it in the back of the net, but good work again from Les Kachunga down this right-hand side. He's finding little pockets of space, isn't he?
It's United looking to win the ball back in Woking territory. They did briefly, but then lost it. Now won back by Brophy. He'll play it across towards the centre circle. Driving forward is Dribble Okadina, continuing with his run, going wide, looking for the ball down inside to Bennett. Bennett's got there, delivers across, deep far post, just a little too deep. Brophy will chase and has done really well to keep it in, getting the ball back, but linesman said he didn't do really well to keep it in. Just went over the line now for the throw.
Yeah, it's 2 or 3 times now we've seen balls come in from the wide areas, and on every occasion too much weight on them. I know Liam Bennett's cross was waiting to be tapped in there. He played it in with pace, but yeah, just be a little bit more delicate with those balls into the box, because you've got men in there, Elias Kachunga and Sully Kai down Lundaloo. They can't really do a lot with that kind of thing.
Oh, I'd go for the opposite action, actually, Doug. I'd not look to be more delicate with it. I'd look to attack it more as a striker running onto it. So I think that's what it needs, more of a predator. As Woking bring the ball down via Conte in the centre circle. Did well, finds Dyche alongside him. He'll go wide toward Chickson, who lays it off. And Jamie Andrews goes all the way back to his keeper. The longer this goes on at 0-0, the happier Woking will be.
Absolutely, yeah, they will be. United, as I say, just not got into their stride at all.
There's Morrison beaten away. Gibbons wasn't. Morrison with a nice touchdown, but that's given away as well. It's word towards Moore on that right hand side. He'll look to turn, looks to return pass and gets it. He's deep at the moment. Dion Mark lays it off. Akinola with the ball forward into Moss, who's in the box. Cross comes Okadina, and Okadina will hoik it out of the ground and onto the roof of the gym, I think it is, behind there, and out for a throw to Woking.
Yeah, there's a snooker club and a gym behind that particular stand. I think it was the gym rather than the snooker club.
Yeah. Ball comes wide again towards that far side. Kelly Evans charged down at the expense of a corner, and United will have to bring everyone back to defend it.
Yeah, it was nicely blocked off, wasn't it, from James Gibbons? Yes, at the expense of a corner, but he allowed the man initially a little bit of space, but didn't allow him to get that crossing.
Will be Jamie Andrews to take. Left-footed in, swinging in front of the covered terrace there. United with everyone back inside the area, pushing and shoving around the penalty spot. Ball deep into the box and it's headed wide. Dyche at the far post, 4 yards out, made scant contact with it and guided it wide of the far post, and a big let off for the U's. Any more contact than virtually none, and that would have been 1-0.
It was the faintest of touches, and that's all it needed to just steer it towards goal. In fact, the Woking fans are 1-2 behind us, and to our right and behind that goal to the left. Half of them were up thinking that was going to nestle into the bottom corner, and that's a warning shot for United, Jono, isn't it? It was a really decent corner, played in, a lot of danger on the ball that was whipped in. I'm going to say that's the danger for United, especially at those set pieces.
Bennett gets the ball forward. Lundaloo charges into his man and concedes a free kick 10 yards outside the Woking penalty area. Half an hour gone. United have flashed some crosses into the Woking box. Woking have had the best chance, and it is still 0-0.
Yeah, the balls that they've put in, certainly on that occasion, with far more quality than the United have provided and supplied so far. And not a lot between these two sides at the moment, Joe, despite the 2-division gap. No,
as Jaskalainen tries to take the free kick from 5 yards too far forward, and is encouraged to move back at least 4 of them.
At least we've managed to scribble some notes on our notepads now, John. That's the first one, apart from the bookings.
Scribble being the operative word in my case. As the free kick taken wide towards that right-hand side, Gibbons defends so strongly against Moss. As the ball drifts beyond both and out for the throw to United. Lovely back heel by a steward to get the ball back into play. Nice touch from him.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, he's showing some potential.
Yes, Hughes with the throw on their left-hand side from left to right in Sharp's Rifles green, the third kit really. Hughes making progress again. We haven't seen the second choice kit yet.
No, we haven't.
Well, other than pre-season at Ebbsfleet.
We're obviously keeping it in reserve at some point soon, we hope.
Gibbons chips it forward, wins another throw 10 yards further forward on the left-hand side. Nicks a yard or 7 into Woking territory, gets the ball back, looks for 1-2 and gets it from Brophy. Cross towards the right hand side where Okadina will stretch for. Bennett to his right and will slip him in, level with the edge of the area. Bennett gets it back to dribble Okadina, close down, rolls it in, little back heel from Lundaloo, back towards Kai finding Lundaloo again, swept wide towards Brophy on the left. Cross comes in towards the near post, nodded away, flags up for offside anyway.
Better, wasn't it, Jono, in terms of the quality into the box on that occasion. They're teasing and waiting for someone to attack it.
Yeah, it's Lundaloo it was aimed towards, but it was Modesina with a good defensive piece of heading to avert the danger. The flag helped him out as well. And, so far, no sign of a breakthrough for a Cambridge United point of view. It is still Woking 0, Cambridge United 0.
The U's not had a shot, let alone one on target so far this afternoon. 34 minutes in. You won't be entirely happy, Gary Monk.
I don't think he'd be happy at all. There's a ball forward more. It's caught offside, and United with a free kick 15 yards inside their own half on that left-hand side.
Yeah,
it's 0-0.
Deep in thought, isn't he, Gary Monk?
Ball back towards Gibbons, down the line, looking for the run of Brophy. Asked too much of him, and that'll roll out for the goal kick. That's a nice idea, but the execution. In fact, he's gone out for a throw rather than a goal kick. So Brophy did well, actually, just to do anything with it. But again, the execution's poor.
It is poor, isn't it? Yeah, the passing game really not in place for United so far this afternoon.
As United looking to win the ball back, and Bennett has done so bravely. Kai brings it down. Lundaloo gets it back towards Bennett in midway inside the Woking half, trying to tease it through. Bennett will try and close his man down, furthest man forward at the moment, can't get there. Kachunga comes across and puts it out for throw to Woking midway inside their own half on the left hand side. 10 minutes plus stoppage time for the break. It's goalless. It's a pull back into Woking territory and hooked away. Bennett in a wrestling match with Conte. And then the ball over the top, looking for Moru, must be offside. Flag stays down, but Reyes comes out of his area and hooks it away. That looks decidedly adjacent to being offside, but it mattered not anyway. And the flag goes up against Lundaloo as United get the ball forward and long.
Yeah, he hesitated just for a second, Vicente Reyes. He was very careful at coming out his box. If you make that commitment, you've got to be entirely sure that you're going to reach the ball. And he hesitated initially and then thought, actually, I think I'll be all right. And
yeah.
Put his laces through it, certainly, didn't they?
Judged it to perfection. And at the other end, Dan Lundaloo offside. United have been offside twice in this first half, maybe 3 times, which is more than they often are. I don't know if that means anything or not, really. It's the clearance from Jaskalainen, and Moore holds off Okadina, but Gibbons behind him. Rolls it forward and clears over the halfway line, but back come Woking. Brophy can't make the challenge. Is away on the right hand side. Cross from Moss, takes a deflection, and Reyes scampers across and gathers that one with ease on his knees, and will look to clear for the U's.
Yeah, it was Harry Buseman trying to latch onto that one, but again he was quick off his line. Vicente Reyes looking for a 4th consecutive clean sheet, of course.
Digby back to Reyes. Buseman has a look, but Reyes will clear over halfway. Lundaloo with a little flick on, finds Kaiko, did well to dig it out, and he'll go wide towards Gibbons on the left hand side. Wider is Brophy, midway inside the Woking half. Brophy looks to return pass, doesn't comes to Gibbons instead. Now it'll come back towards that left hand side. Morrison goes wide again. Gibbons forward, but he's given it away. And Woking getting it forward for Akinola towards Moore, turns on halfway, rolls it off towards Buseman, who's closed down and gets the free kick. It might have been touch a handball by Kachunga, taken quickly and swung wide towards the left hand side. Away comes Chickson. He's got Conte in front of him if he chooses it, and he does. Level the edge of the area, Conte gets it back. Andrew pass was short, and as a result Woking are chased back into their own half. Lundaloo putting pressure on Dyche, who has to go back to his own keeper, who's a yard or 5 outside the area.
A good pressure from the U's and good running from Dan Lundaloo just to put that little bit of pressure on Jaskalainen, and it was well dealt with on that occasion from the U's.
This is a clearance towards that far side. A good climb by Morrison. Finds Brophy, who hoiks it away. Back it'll come towards the halfway line. Woking in possession, quickly closed down. United will hook it forward. Hughes can't close them down. In the end, a little push by Gibbons. Concedes the free kick. Referee has had a good first half, gets that one spot on. And Woking have the free kick. 8 minutes to the break plus. Yeah, probably about 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Clear foul, and he actually hoofed the ball forward as well, James Gibbons. Some referees might have flashed a yellow card for.
Depends how many games into the season we are, doesn't it? We'll be Woking with a free kick from 5-10 yards inside the United half, wide on the Woking right. It's Woking in red and white from right to left. Deep cross into the area, looking for Moss, finding Moore. Half away with the United defence. Digby gets it half clear. Shot comes down, it's hooked over his own bar by Okadina, who got a touch on it in the end. And hoiked it over the top and out for a corner.
Yeah, Michael Morrison bravely having a word with the sizeable referee. It was a foul in the build-up there, I think.
Referee James O'Connor saw nothing wrong, and Woking will have the corner on this near side, the Woking left. Conte cross to take, right-footed in, swinging. Chickson offers himself short, pushing and shoving inside the 6-yard box. It goes short to Chickson, back to Conte, corner of the box, will look to deliver the cross. It goes deep, a long way, and very deep, and a very long way, and out for the goal kick.
Well, Wokin's turned to be wasteful with balls into the box on this occasion. It really hasn't been a great spectacle so far, has it, Jono, in terms of its quality?
It's been very FA Cup round 1, for want of a better phrase. Lower non-league side against League One side.
Well, it's
not always great spectacle, is it? Let's be honest.
No, it's one of those games with all knockout football. Yeah. If it is like this, just find a way to win the game, as United did last Saturday against Burton, of course, and even more so in the FA Cup today. It's all about getting through to the next round and avoiding that banana skin that we keep talking about.
Yep. As the ball forward, and it clipped off Kachunga's head and out for a throw to Woking, midway inside their own half. Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to the break. Hooked on by Andrew, nodded away by the Hughes defence with Digby getting it forward. It ricocheted up awkwardly, and Corey Smith was nearly in there. Woking come away with the ball and they stretch down this near side until they run out of pitch. United will have a throw, which they look to take quickly. Bennett taking it, was pushed over. United will get the free kick, and the Woking man will go in the book. I think that's Conte. He's been in a pushing match with Bennett since he came off the bench. So Conte goes into the book for a foul, which is a ridiculous one to pick up. 41st minute.
Yeah, third booking for Woking. So 1 or 3 out there will need to be careful in the second half.
It's a throw rather than a free kick. So we've had a Woking player booked at a throw-in and one booked while he's being carried off injured. 2 things you don't see too often.
No, you don't, do you? Just in keeping with the game, really, in terms of it being a bit indifferent and scrappy.
There's a ball back to Michael Morrison inside his own half. He'll roll it across to find Reyes. 5 minutes plus a few to the break. It's Reyes across towards Gibbons. Gibbons will launch it forward, looking for a runner down that far side. Knotted away by Odnosa. And United back in possession. Won it back well. Did Kachunga coming back for it. Okadina lays it off to Digby on the halfway line. He'll drill it wide, looking for the flick from Kai, not finding it. It's worked on now. Kai try and turn it around the corner and turn it into Woking man, and Beautyman will come away with it for Woking. Crossing halfway, being hauled off the ball by Kachunga, and that'll be a free kick.
Well, that's daft, isn't it, from Elias Kachunga? He had hold of it's Beautyman, isn't it, for a good 7, 8, 9 seconds there. It was always going to be a free kick, and surprised he hasn't picked up a yellow card there, Kachunga.
Yeah, I'm very surprised as well. He might yet do, and he has done. The referee got it right. He just bided his time and waited and showed it to Kachunga for the foul, and there's nothing amiss with that. That's a correct decision. The referee took his time over it and gave it.
You do wonder whether, on that occasion, if Elias Kachunga had run away from the scene of the crime rather than having a word or two towards or in the direction of the referee, whether he would have escaped the booking, It
was an obvious booking, wasn't it? And 2 bookings in this competition count for a suspension in the next round. 2 bookings. Just in case you were wondering.
No, I wasn't wondering, but thank you for the
public service broadcasting. Free kick into the area. Woking have got men over. Okadina wins an important header on the penalty spot. Digby half away. Bennett on this near side, pushed off the ball. And Moss tries to turn into the area. Does, but forgets the ball. Hughes get it away via Digby. It's not a great clearance. It's picked up by Dyche on the halfway line. United got some words to say at half-time, you think, which is 3 minutes plus stoppage time away. Is Gibbons with the nod away. United have not looked like, aside from 48 places above Woking in the period.
Yeah, there's been a lack of control, hasn't there, and a lack of quality as well.
Hooked forward. Good defensive work by Gibbons, off balance and nodded away. Brophy keeps it in on that left-hand side and looks to see if he can draw the foul. Referee has a good look, doesn't give it. Gibbons gets it away. Kept in by Kai, but no great effect. And Woking will look to work on the edge of the area. Way by Bennett for United. Lundaloo helps it on its way. Used on the counter-attack. Smith will look to get Kachunga away on this right-hand side, and he'll keep it in. 10 yards outside the area. Looking dance into the box. Getting it forward towards Digby for company. Digby across the face of goal. United in front on the counter-attack. And it's Lundaloo at the near post, nodding it in. United on the break. Kachunga led it. Slipped it into Digby. He found the head of Lundaloo, who lost his man at the near post with a minute and a half to go, 2 at the break. Dan Lunderloo puts the U ahead. United's first attack of real intent in the match. First attempt on goal of any description. And the U's have the lead.
Well, we were talking about control, weren't we? The
referee just having a word with the linesman on its near side. Don't think it's going to overturn anything. It has. It's been disallowed for what? Offside, perhaps. Handball, perhaps by Lunderloo at the near post. He turned it in.
Or Paul Digby as he controlled the ball as it came.
Well, let's see where it's going to be taken from. It's for Lunderloo, bundling it over the line with his hand, I think.
Well, we thought we had lift off, and we were just saying United a little bit more control in this game is required, and a little bit more urgency and quality. But quality with his hand, unfortunately, Dan Lunderloo.
So that's ruled out. As you were, it is still 0-0. And good work from the officials then to get it right.
Yeah, it was well spotted, wasn't it, by the assistant referee on this near side. Dan Lunderloo, he's particularly grumpy about that one, and there's actually an exchange of words between him and Gary Monk. I think Gary Monk's just saying, look, it's handball, just crack on and get on with it.
There'll be 6 minutes to be added, a minimum thereof. It is Woking 0, Cambridge United 0, and Lunderloo is a bit cross at the moment. He's now penalised and been told to calm down by the referee.
He is, and I think Gary Monk as well, just saying to look, concentrate on the game. It's been ruled out. You might be a bit annoyed about it, but just concentrate on your game and putting things right.
So, Woking 0, Cambridge United 0 after Lunderloo's effort ruled out for handball. And Woking with a free kick just inside their own half. We're into the first. We've nearly had the first of the 6 additional advertised minutes as the ball fought towards the edge of the United area, half away by the U's defence. Nodded back by Andrew, flicked on towards Moore. He'll look to flick it past 2 United defenders. Gibbons having none of it, and Gibbons will clear. Kai will set off in hot pursuit, and Dyche will go back to his keeper. Corey Smith will try and close him down, but Kelly Evans ran in front of him, made sure he couldn't get a run at the ball. United win it back to Digby, can't keep it for long, then a high foot. Not penalised by the referee. More in possession on the right hand side. Looking for a bit of help, rolls it back in field towards the right hand side. Kelly Evans down the line, looking for the runner on that far side, and United smuggle it off Moss for a throw to themselves. Just a minute or so, 2 minutes rather, of stoppage time being played. It's 0-0. Well, we deep in their own half.
We hope United would continue the momentum that they picked up over the last 3 games. We also were concerned that this game would end up being a bit untidy, and I know it's an old adage, Jono, about the FA Cup being a leveller, but there's been very little between the sides.
No. On the score sheet, absolutely nothing. It is Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. Don't forget, we'll be settling this one today. No replays anymore. Boo. After the bad old boys in the top division, so they don't want to play anymore.
Yes, but it's particularly controversial. Yes, it reduces fixture congestion a little, but I think you'd rather have a few more pennies on the cash flow, wouldn't you?
Well, they shouldn't keep making up competitions. They wouldn't have that sort of problem at top level. They didn't stretch the top level, they wouldn't have that sort of problem. As United penalised again. Lunderloo in the referee's bad books. It's been spoken to as we welcome listeners in the north of the county. Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. It's not a classic, to say the least.
It's not even that good, is it, really?
Lunderloo has had the ball in the net just on the stroke of the end of the night, the 45 minutes, but that was ruled out for handball.
Yeah, well spotted, but actually we didn't spot it, certainly. Linesmen or assistant referees, we should call them these days, spotted something in there. Referee didn't even see it either, so handball's handball though.
We're into the fourth of the 6 to be added. Free kick to Woking on halfway. Andrews will take deep into the United penalty area, looking for the flick on, getting it as well. Hooked away by the United defence initially. Conte picks it up, blocked away by Kachunga. Woking get it back in towards the edge of the area. Morrison clears. Dyche gets it back once more. Morrison can't get there. Digby will, and will send it wide towards Lundaloo on this left-hand side. Down the line towards Kai. Lays it off. That's a dreadful pass. It was behind Digby, and Chickson comes forward for Woking. Down the line it goes, looking for the run of Conte. Okadina comes across and will get there close to the United corner. Okadina goes to ground and finally gets the free kick. Well, that summed up the first 90 or 48 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, certainly. They tried to play a little 1-2, didn't they? Around about the halfway line, but it was dreadful. I think it was Sully Kaikai, wasn't it, with an awful return pass, and everyone had to scurry back. And credit to Jibril Okadina, actually, for covering that one off. And
well, the referee had given a free kick. Now he says to Vicente Reyes, just take the free kick from a different position, and Reyes ignores him. And we might get underway again in the fifth of the sixth to be added. It's 0-0. Long ball
that was
forward.
a bit silly, wasn't it?
Lundaloo heads it on, sliced by Dyche, but he did well to get to his feet and recover. Digby will nod the ball out, and that's out for a throw to Woking midway inside their own half.
Yeah, a bit of sorting out for Gary Monk to do. It's all about that control that I was mentioning in terms of your passing football, and just taking the pressure off yourselves a little bit when you're in possession of the ball. Just put your foot on it and look for the right passes. And with a bit of
on the right hand side, and getting forward was Bennett, and he was just tagged in the end. United get the free kick again in a decent position to deliver something from wide on this right hand side, a yard or two in from the touchline, perhaps 20 yards out. Bennett and Kachunga stand over it. Kachunga wanders away into the box. Woking will bring everyone back. Beautyman is a one-man wall, about 5 yards from the ball. Bennett will take it right-footed. I think Kaikai's there with the left. Bennett takes, into the box it goes. Comes off a Woking head towards Brophy. Brophy with a shot, tipped over. Took a deflection, and it took a brilliant save from Jääskeläinen to deny James Brophy. What has he got to do to score?
Well, it took a little deflection, as you say, Jono, and it was well tipped over by Jääskeläinen, but it fell absolutely beautifully, didn't it, for James Brophy? And I think he knows himself that he's been so close to scoring of late, but it just will not fall for him. But it was a wonderful effort. United's side of the ball that was handled in by Dan Lundaloo, United's best effort and first real bit of quality in this first half.
Into the seventh of the sixth to be added. Corner, Bennett, in fact it's Gibbons takes towards that far post. Keeper comes and has a bit of a flap at it and puts it behind for another corner to United. Is their time to take? And of course comes Brophy to take once more. This time it'll be left-footed out swinging. Again, Woking all bar one back in the area. A real gaggle of players around the penalty spot as Brophy will take it. Players looking to make their runs now. United in that Sharps Rifles green. Goes short towards Kachunga. Back towards Brophy's offside. And that'll mark the end of a tepid first half where Woking have had the best chance, really. Dyche with a header wide from 4 yards. If he'd made any sort of contact, it would have put Woking ahead. But he put it wide from a corner. United had the ball in the net in the 44th minute. Lundaloo bundling the ball over the line after a great counter-attack from the U's. That was only a real moment in the normal time, but that effort was ruled out for handball. And then in the 6th minute of stoppage time, James Brophy with a 20-yarder, destined for to creep under the bar until Jääskeläinen got a touch to tip it over. Half-time, not been a classic. It's Woking 0, Cambridge United 0.
Contrasting halves for Posh and the U's. Peterborough United with all of the entertainment value, two sides with leaky defences, and we've had the evidence in that we've had 3 goals. For Cambridge United, not a lot has happened during the opening 45 minutes. Probably as we would have expected, given where the U's are at, coming to Woking and trying to create against a struggling side, even a struggling National League side. The U's having success against Wigan, against Stevenage, by finding that space on the break and allowing the opposition to take the game to them. they haven't been able to do that this afternoon. Posh then trailing 2-1 at Newport. Disastrous start, and they've partially recovered. Abraham Odo getting the goal, and for Cambridge United 0-0. Elsewhere then in the FA Cup first round weekend, Barrow 0, Doncaster 0, Brackley 0, Braintree 0. Aldershot are leading at Bradford by a goal to 0. Bristol Rovers 1, Western Supermare 0, a local derby of sorts, or at least a local tie there. Burton 0, Scarborough 0. Carlisle Wigan 0-0. Robson, though, has been sent off for Carlisle, down to 10 men after just 14 minutes. Chesterfield 1, Horsham 0. Will Grigg with the Chesterfield goal. Crewe 0, Dagenham and Redbridge 0. 1-1 between Exeter and Barnet. Gillingham 0, Blackpool 1. Grimsby 0, Wealdstone 0. Hensford 2, Gainsborough Trinity 0. Maidenhead 0, Crawley 0. Port Vale 1, Barnsley 1. 0-0 between Reading and Fleetwood. Bromley a 2-1 up at Rochdale. Bromley scoring twice in the opening 3 minutes. Rotherham 1, Cheltenham 2. Rushall Olympic 0, Accrington Stanley 0. Rushall, of course, knocking out Peterborough Sports in the last round. Salford 2, Shrewsbury 1. 0-0 between Solihull Moors and Maidstone. Southend 1, Charlton 2, Stevenage 0, Guiseley 0, Stockport 0, Forest Green 0, 0-0 between Swindon and Colchester. Harbour Town are 1-0 up at Tunbridge Angels. Tranmere 1, Oldham 1, Walsall 0, Bolton 0. Morecambe leading 1-0 at Worthing. Jordan Slew, formerly of the U's, scoring for Morecambe. 2-1, Wickham leading York. One other match taking place in the FA Cup this afternoon at 5:30, Northampton against Kettering. In the Premier League, lunchtime game, Newcastle beating Arsenal by a goal to 0. 3 o'clock matches, Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0. Ipswich 0, Leicester 0. Brighton are 1-0 up at Liverpool. Nottingham Forest, they're 1-0 up against West Ham. The Hammers also down to 10 men. Chris Wood scoring at the City Ground. Southampton 0, Everton 0. And at 5:30 in the Premier League, Wolves playing Crystal Palace. In the Championship, 3 lunchtime kickoffs. Blackburn 0, Sheffield United 2, Oxford 1, Swansea 2, Stoke 2, Derby 1. 3 o'clock games, Cardiff 0, Norwich 0, Hull leading Portsmouth 1-0, Leeds 3, Plymouth 0, Middlesbrough 0, Coventry 1, Preston 0, Bristol City 1, QPR 0, Sunderland 0, and 1-1 between Sheffield Wednesday and Watford. Owing to that lengthy injury delay in the U's game, our 2 commentary matches in terms of when the second halves are going to be getting underway, basically Posh a couple of minutes away, and then it's going to be a much longer wait for the U's. So let's talk Peterborough United with Gabby Zakwani. Gab's worst possible start, but we know this Posh side have got the character, they have got the ability in attack. We know that Newport are pretty leaky in defence, so all to play for the second half.
Yeah, we'll be able to play for. I mean, the goal back has made this game a lot more interesting. Before that, it was a disaster. I mean, Newport were causing all sorts of problems with their press, so Posh will be quite happy with their response, and it could have even been better.
When you go away from home against a side from a league below in the FA Cup, you'll know this from your career, it's pretty clear what's going to happen. You know exactly what to expect, and for whatever reason, Posh just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that they were keeping it short early on. I think you've got to turn them. But then I did think about it, and I thought maybe not having Ricky J. Jones to spin in behind, or to cause that threat, that potent threat going forward in behind, it maybe played into their minds, so they tried to keep the ball and play their way through, but it just wasn't working with a high press that Newport set out for them.
When you talk about, Gabby, we've discussed this on previous shows, when you talk about having the nous to make those decisions in game very early on in the match, and as you say, no Ricky J. Jones, but if you're determined to play short and the opposition, they're all fired up, it's an FA Cup time, they're really pressing you, it's just daft, isn't it, really?
It is, and I think that's what Darren will be saying as we speak right now. He will be saying that they need to manage that themselves, and they should know that they will come out aggressive. The fans are rocking, urging them on and giving them that extra percentage, and any little bit that you give teams from a league below especially, with you. That's the level of the effort that they're going to put in, and they put in a lot of effort in the early stages, and Posh played right into their hands.
What have you made of Malik Mothersill in the more central role once again? And Odo obviously has gone and got the goal coming onto the left.
I mean, he hasn't had much success, Mothersill. He's had a couple of clever touches, which we know he's got to bring other players in. But apart from that, he hasn't really shown anything, or that he will make that position his own at the moment, because he hasn't maybe not had the service, but also when he has got the ball, he's not made good use of it. So he has been disappointed in the first half, and I'm pretty sure that we will see a change, especially in that front line as the game wears on, if it stays as it's going.
Yeah, and that is quite important, because we were joking about it beforehand. We've mentioned it loads of times. Darren's talked about it. It's been so tricky for Posh with their defending that you do just have to go out and rely on the attackers. And the evidence from that first 45, even though the 2 goals came early, we can talk about Manny Fernandez, his role in it, Bila Kapic as well. Basically, the defence didn't look too much tighter right throughout the half. There were other opportunities for Newport. If Posh are going to come out on the right side of this one, it's going to be about what the attackers can do.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the story of the season so far. It's about outscoring the opposition and being on the front foot, and that's the only way they can defend at the moment. They haven't got that solid base that they can rely on and try and nick a goal. They've got to try and just attack and keep on attacking with wave after wave.
And I would imagine from the cheers in the background there that, as we suspected, they're not hanging around at Newport. Peterborough United commentary, second half commentary, I think we're pretty much ready to go for Cambridge United. Lengthy injury delay. I think we were a moment or two late kicking off as well. So what we'll do, 96 FM, DAB Digital south of Cambridgeshire, Freeview Channel 714, BBC Sounds as well. We'll talk Cambridge United with Doug and with Jono, and we'll let the Posh get underway. 95.7 FM, DAB Digital across the north of Cambridgeshire, BBC Sounds as it's the FA Cup, and your commentary team, Gabby Zakwani and Ben Stevenson.
The sound of Cambridgeshire. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire Sports.
For Cambridge United then, a fairly flat 45 minutes. Dan Lunderloo getting the ball in the back of the net, but the goal ruled out. I think, Doug Shulman, have we decided that he handled it? Was that why the goal got ruled out?
Yeah, we think that's exactly the case. That seemed to be the indication. But I'll tell you what, it was really well spotted by the assistant referee, the linesman on this near side to us, because the referee in the middle didn't spot it. Jono and I didn't spot it. I don't think anyone else did, but United was celebrating. The referee had given the goal, and all of a sudden the referee was called over, and yeah, the indication from the linesman that Dan Lunderloo used his hand in getting the ball over the line. But it was unfortunate, because it was United's by some distance best move of that first half, and they shouldn't be going in really 1-0 up.
Yeah, it was a case of you had that and James Brophy as well with a chance just before half time. Best opportunity though, the whole half falling to Woking, and Max Dyche, who's the son of Sean Dyche, will feel he should have done better. Yeah,
absolutely. It was a wicked ball, and you get a sense really that, I mean, Woking have, as with United, lack quality at times, but is the set pieces that will cause United problems. They've had one or two corners, but that one corner in particular, so it was wickedly lofted in, and Max Dyche, I mean, it was the faintest of touches, but sometimes that's all it needs, Pete, and it looked like he was going to nestle into the bottom corner of the Woking fans away to her left behind the goal. Half of them were up thinking that was going to nestle into the bottom corner, but thankfully for United, just whistled past the post, probably took a lick of paint off as well, but it was just a warning shot for United. Then they'll need to be very, very mindful and careful of that in the second half.
And of course, it's frustrating that it was a low-key 45 minutes, but I feel we do have to cut Cambridge United a bit of slack, given what they've done to steady the ship over the past couple of weeks. We know the formula has been built around reacting to the opposition in a game where they have to take the initiative. We were talking about the lack of technical, creative players in this side before kick-off. Although, obviously, you look at this, and as a Cambridge United fan, you don't want to be 0-0 against a struggling National League side half-time in an FA Cup tie. You can see why the game has played out in the way that it has done, and how it's quite difficult for Gary Monk to change things around.
It is. You also don't want to go in at half-time 1-0 down, which United could have done if Max Dyche's header had crept into the bottom corner. But yeah, I mean, Jono and I talked about it through commentary. I know it's an old adage about the FA Cup being a leveller, but what you can see that Woking have raised their game a little bit in terms of the way that they're pressing United. They try and get the ball forward quickly when they can. Lacks a little bit of quality at times, but they've out-muscled United at times in midfield because they're playing a 4-4-1-1 system, but it's effectively a 4-5-1 because they're outnumbered at times, United in midfield, and when United do get their foot on the ball and try and promote a little bit of quality, they're just rushing things. The balls forward have been poor, the balls into the box have been poor, but yeah, they need to just find a way. It's another one of those games, Peter, as we have just said all too often before, that just get those messages across, so just be a little bit more composed on the ball, and if United can find a little bit of quality, then they should be okay, but so just need to be mindful of those set pieces and the way that Woking are pressing at times.
Yeah, with that Max Dyche chance in mind, what you don't want is to gift Woking something really daft. If it remains being a bit frustrating with the final ball not quite being there, then yeah, that's not great, but you can live with that. What you don't want to do in this game is find yourself 1-0 down because you've done something really daft at the back.
Yeah, exactly. And when you consider United have kept 3 consecutive clean sheets, and in the main they've defended well, and Djibril Okadina especially, I think, has been fairly exemplary in terms of what he's done with the ball, and he's provided a little bit going forward as well. You don't want to be in a position where you're walking off after 90 minutes or perhaps after extra time just thinking, well, we could have done so much more, and we've ended up losing the game to something really scrappy, something really untidy. But it wouldn't surprise you in terms of the way this game has unfolded so far.
Jono, it could get a bit nervy in the second half. Worth reiterating once again that if required, no replays now at this stage of the FA Cup. We'll be going to extra time, penalties as well. It could be really nip and tuck. Equally, if the U's can go and get a goal early on, then given the fact they're a couple of levels above, you would think they do. If they can get that first goal, they have a real opportunity to take control of the tie, and they shouldn't really look back.
Yep. Absolutely, I think you're right, but it will get pretty nervy in the second half at some point. It's bound to, because it's the FA Cup, and that's what it does. And I can tell you, United aren't out yet, other than Danny Andrew, who will be coming on as a half-time substitution. So that will be interesting to see what United do in that respect as they start to make their way out onto the pitch now. But you're right, first goal, get it early, get the tie wrapped up, and then you can relax about the rest of the game. But is it really going to happen like that? Is that really likely? Is that really the United way this season? Maybe not.
I'm enjoying Woking using the sweet Blockbuster as their walkout music. Is there some sort of connection between the glam rock band The Sweet and Woking? If there is, I don't know off the top of my head.
Not that I'm aware of. Djibril Okadina is the man who's coming off, by the way.
So Djibril Okadina heading off, Danny Andrew heading on. We'll allow Doug and Jono to explain exactly how all of that pans out. I think we can probably work it out, though, with James Gibbons just switching sides of the defence. It's BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. It's FA Cup first round weekend. It's been a bit of a tough old watch so far at Woking, but we suspected that might be the case. The U's very much in the game, 0-0 at the half-time break. 96 FM, DAB digital across the south of Cambridgeshire. Freeview channel 714 across the whole of East Anglia, and as it's the FA Cup, we're on the interweb via BBC Sounds across the whole of the UK. Doug Shulman, Mark Johnson, take it away for the second half.
Yes, we're about ready to go. Woking will kick off in white and cardinal red shirts, black shorts and socks. They are from left to right, with Jääskeläinen in goal, Kelly Evans, Odesina, Dyche and Schickson in defence, Moss, Akinola, Andrews and Conte now in midfield, with Beautyman behind. Moore. United in Sharps Rifles green as we get a false start at the start of this second half. Now with Reyes in goal, a back three of Gibbons, Morrison and Danny Andrew on. Wing backs of Bennett and Brophy, with Smith and Digby behind Kachunga, Kai and Lundalu in attack. Referee gets things underway. Referee is James O'Connor. He's in turquoise. He's shown the card a few times in the first half, and I wouldn't argue with any of them. So United win themselves a throw deep in their own half. One booking for the U's, Elias Kachunga for a foul for Woking. Moss for a foul. Then Lewis, as he was being carted off of the stretcher for a late reckless sort of head-to-head clash with Dribble Okadina. Then Conte for a foul for pushing Bennett over whilst trying to take a throw, which is all a bit silly. So we're underway. United fans in the terrace opposite and the end of the stand behind the goal guarded by Vicente Reyes, and Woking starting to go forward, but Danny Andrew cut it out and gets the ball wide towards that far side where Kachunga will pick it up back towards Digby, who's got Morrison behind him, and he'll go back towards Danny Andrew on this left hand side. Andrew clipping it forward, and did that flick off a Woking man? I think it did. There is a dugout between us and this particular part of the pitch.
It is. We anticipated that a good chunk of the game would be played in that little area that we can't actually see, and that's proved to be the case.
Only the crucial bit where Moore and Okadina went head to head inadvertently. Moore coming off the worst. Okadina was tiring from the fray at half time. Ball down the line, sliced away for a throw to United by Odesina, who then limps away as if blaming that for a really wild clearance. United with the throw level the edge of the area.
Yeah, intriguing switch actually from Gary Monk. We didn't see that Dribble Okadina had picked up a knock, so it's obviously something tactical. We'll get his view on that perhaps at the end of the game, but yeah, you're right, John, it could have been for that little clash with...
Has to be that clash of heads.
With Denner Lewis, yep.
It will be Danny Andrew with the long throw on the left hand side, looking for the flick at the near post, and Morrison and maybe Andrew and maybe Digby fouled their man, and it'll be a free kick to Woking on the edge of their own 6-yard box. Couple of minutes into the second half, we had 6 minutes of stoppage time because of that clash between Lewis and Okadina. And both players now are no longer on the field.
Yeah, it's all about United just stamping their authority on this game. If they get themselves an early goal, we'll just settle everyone down a little bit, but just try and take a little bit more control of the game. That's the key for me.
Long ball for Morrison with a head away. Doesn't get too much distance on it. Bennett will. And Kaikai could have gone for that and decided not to. It was probably the right decision. I don't think he would have quite got there. As Woking going forward, looking to turn. Moore gets it back to Beautyman, who goes back instead to Jamie Andrews. He'll go wide towards the left-hand side. Chickson gets it infield. Conte goes back in towards his own half, and the ball goes all the way back from Dyche to Jaskalainen. Lundalu has a look, but it's placed out to Akinola, who goes back to Odesina. And Odesina finds Jaskalainen, who'll clear long. Danny Andrew wins enough of the header to break things up, but Woking going forward, one back by Corey Smith, but it's forced loose. It goes wide towards the left hand side, low ball into the area, danger there for United, and Gibbons at the near post hoiks it away for a corner to Woking. United will bring everyone back.
Yeah, there was a couple of Woking men looking to get on the end of that, one of them being Harry Beautyman, and he came across well, didn't he, James Gibbons, to clear the danger.
Corner to Woking. They made mischief at their corner in the first half when Dyche missed an absolute sitter. And corner to be taken, right footed in, swinging. Everyone in the 6-yard box pretty much. Pushing and shoving goes on there. It goes short instead, looking to deliver. It'll come back towards the left hand side, played in low towards Jamie Andrew. Andrew with a shot that takes a deflection, closed down one by Brophy, and away that goes for another corner to Woking.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it might have been going over the bar anyway, but Jones Brophy just wanted to make sure he got something on that, so there was no danger for Vicente Reyes.
Andrews goes across to take again for Woking. We've got everyone forward pretty much. Jaskalainen even in the centre circle in his own half of the field, just about, for Woking. United with everyone back in their own box. They're footed out swinging. Players make their move now, deep towards that far post where United do just enough to smuggle it away. Brophy will chase it out and continue so doing, and it will go all the way back from Kelly Evans to his keeper, and that got some oohs and ahs and boos from the home fans.
Oh, they didn't like that, did they, at all? They were looking for... Well, he knew that Brophy was over his shoulder and just wanted to make 100% certain. Not as easy as it looks sometimes, is it?
Never. It's Woking in possession inside their own half. 0-0, 5 minutes into the second half on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. Ball back towards Dyche. Dyche rolls it out again towards Chickson.
I think for Kelly Evans, his concern was if he tried to turn James Brophy, he'd get caught out.
Yeah. Odesina goes back to his keeper under pressure from Soleil Kaikai. Jeskalainen plays it out wide again towards that left-hand side. Woking join possession, but inside their own half. And centre halves passing to goalkeeper at the moment. Now Jeskalainen will launch it away. Danny Andrew does just about enough. Moss got something on it. Moore will chase. Comes back to Moss by the corner flag, right-hand side. Support behind. Kelly Evans getting it back in field. Looking for the return pass, and it'll come wide again. Moss getting it back to Akinola. Ball field. Andrews goes wide towards that left-hand side where he's got Conte will look to run at Bennett. Bennett does well to block him off, but Conte's got beyond him. Pulls it back into the area when Morrison clears. Gets it half away. Not out, not completely out yet, but it might be now as Lundalu helps chase it out. But Woking looking a threat. Their tails are up at the start of the second half. So it goes wide again towards Conte on the left-hand side. Still Woking coming forward, looking to get to the byline. Chance for cross, doesn't come. Goes back to Chickson. Chickson will look to dance down the left-hand side. Woking building nicely. United with everyone bar Lundalu behind the ball. Andrew gets the ball down the line. Bennett from the ground has been beaten, and here comes Chickson into the area looking to try and pull it back. But there was Gibbons to nip in and save the day and get the ball away, but United haven't cleared their lines yet, and it's rolled on towards the edge of the box, forced wide towards this right hand side. Chance for Kelly Evans to hook a deep cross into the danger area. It's nodded back across the face of goal, but the ball had gone out for the goal kick first, and United survive just. It is 0-0.
Well, we said that United will need to come out in this second half and just provide a little bit more control, a bit of more foot on the ball and looking around, and just a little bit more composure. But it's Woking that have come out with that control and pushing United back. And I was going to say, United being forced to play on the counter-attack. They haven't had counter-attack once yet in this second half. It's a good positive start from the home side, isn't it?
Well, what you make's an interesting point, Doug, because the only time in the match United had counter-attack, they've had the ball in the back of the net.
Yep.
It was ruled out for handball by Lundalu, but as Digby gets it forward down the right hand side, Kachunga will go wide. Bennett 10 yards inside the Woking half, has to go back to James Gibbons, looking for a bit of help, finds it and gets the ball back again, clipping it down the right hand side, looking for the run of Lundalu, defender across and ceremoniously clears it high into the Surrey night. It's decidedly crepuscular now. United's Sharp's Rifles greens, almost camouflage green now, as they win a throw over on that right hand side.
Here are those clocks going back. Last Sunday, we'll be plunged into darkness by the time the full-time whistle goes.
It's United in possession. Bennett getting it back. Ball forward towards Lundalu, looking to turn. Ball down the line. Kachunga turns well, playing a couple. Lundalu picks it up, will spread it wide towards his left-hand side, but that's a pass that Brophy's done well to scamper back and keep in. He'll look to maraud forward, looking to get to the byline. Cross takes deflection. High, looping into the air. Woking keep it in. Comes back to Danny Andrew. Thought about the first time cross. Now goes to the byline. Can he pull out a cross? No, it's blocked. And it's blocked onto the roof of the low stand behind the goal and away for a corner to the U's.
Yeah, decent purposeful run, wasn't it, from Danny Andrew? He will give you that. They climbed off the bench. And never needs too much of an invitation to get forward. Tried to beat his man and get as close to the byline as he possibly could, but done well to win the corner on that occasion, Jono, hasn't he?
Liam Bennett to take, right-footed, in swinging, in front of the terraced Woking fans. Hughes with plenty forward. Woking all bar one back. United, no one at the near post at the moment. Everyone now they make the run. It goes into the box, deep into the area, half cleared by Woking as far as Brophy. Brophy, nice ball down the line, looking for Bennett. Bennett hooks it back into the danger area, looking for the nod on. It comes off a defender and goes away for a corner to the U's once more. Bit better from United. Not textbook, but a little bit better.
Yeah, certainly causing a little bit more danger. It was Dan Moss that cleared the ball away for a second United corner. Corner
which Bennett will take. Again, right-footed in swinging. This time it goes deep towards the far post. Punched away emphatically by Jeskalainen. There's a chase for Conte. Shoulder to shoulder with Brophy. Ref says that's fair enough, and it's a throw to Woking, just shy of halfway. Good strong defending from James Brophy.
Yeah, it was, and he was actually lying on the floor when he hooked the ball out of play as well, and needed to show a turn of pace and gets a pat on the back from Paul Digby.
10 into the second half. It's Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. FA Cup first round. Prize money at stake. There's money to the losers as well for the first time. There's the throw on the left-hand side. Down the line it goes. Bennett just beaten away. Morrison isn't. And there's Paul Digby on the turn to whack it away over the halfway line. Nodded clear by the Woking defence and into touch for a throw to the U's. Just on halfway in front of the travelling Amber Nation who are standing on that far side. Not sure they're thrilled with everything they've seen this afternoon. It's United again in possession.
Not too much to shout about so far. Long way to go in this game, though.
Danny Andrew with the ball forward. That's charged down, and Moss will chase onto this near side, and Andrew clatters across and plays the ball out for a throw to Woking. That was a blood and thunder challenge that's left Moss rolling about.
Well, needed to be as well. He's made amends there. Is he going to have a word with Danny Andrew, the referee? No, he's walked past him.
That was a
good solid challenge.
That was a
it?
proper FA Cup challenge, red in tooth and claw.
The only thing that's missing is the player being in the stands.
Don't think you're allowed to do that at this stage. Not when the player's 10 yards infield. 9 yards maybe, but not 10. Moss is to his feet. And Woking have the throw on their right hand side, level with the edge of the United penalty area. Woking in red and white from left to right. Kelly Evans to take. And Ola makes his run, gets the ball back. Kelly Evans in towards the edge of the area. Moore tries to hold it up, looking to turn. Goes nowhere with it, has to go back towards Dyche. Dyche in the centre circle, looks to play it across. Nearly played Kachunga in, who was interested, couldn't quite get there. But a nice turn of play by Conte on the far side, ran out of pitch. Again, Brophy doing sterling work. On the defence, United, it was Bennett doing sterling work on that occasion. United getting the throw, which has now been overturned after Bennett had taken it. And touch of miscommunication amongst the officials.
Yeah, the United players, I think, as well. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Woking in possession. Just coming up to the hour mark. Long ball forward, looking for Moore. Brings it down, looking to turn just outside the area. Runs to Bennett. Bennett brushes him asunder. United in possession, but good challenge back by Beautyman, sliding in to win the ball back. Conte keeps it in well on the left hand side, midway inside the U's half. Conte looking to run against Gibbons, almost level with the edge of the area. Can he deliver across? United with plenty back. Ball back. Andrews with the ball into the area, looking for the flick, and the flag's up for offside as it flashed across the 6 yard box. The far post, I think it's Beautyman who just wandered offside, and United have the free kick, 0-0.
Again, the pressing game from Woking is causing United problems. It was a horribly heavy touch, wasn't it, from Liam Bennett? He did well to win the ball initially just outside the 18 yard box, advanced forward, but say a heavy touch just allowed Woking to build again, and you can't keep allowing the home side to build on with the intensity that they are at the moment.
Does allow them to get tails up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Don't need much encouragement. As United, Gibbons getting the ball half away, but not completely away. Bennett battling with Conte on that far side, and then Andrews with the ball forward, and two are offside for Woking on that occasion. And the linesman with a very straightforward decision to give. It is 0-0.
Well, it wasn't marginal, that. Two, an absolute mile offside. No. Hadn't read it at all. And they would have been pleased to get in at half-time, still level Woking, and the manager Michael Doyle would have said, well, look, just put your foot on the gas a little bit. This Cambridge side here, they're struggling in League One at the moment. They're there for the beating, and they've obviously taken his message on board.
Be interesting to see, actually, last 20 minutes or so, if United can make the two-division difference count.
Yeah, fitness
and yet.
Yeah, fitness and quality may tell in the end, but easier said than done, isn't it?
Shouldn't necessarily do. Quality, but not necessarily fitness at this stage of the campaign. Now, as Lundaloo on the end of a long ball forward, he made life really awkward for two Woking defenders, and then hooked the ball straight up in the air and out for a throw to Woking. Scruffy as
it was in the first half.
Scruffy as a pair of Steve Claridge socks, that was, wasn't it?
Not that scruffy, surely. But yeah, Dan Lundaloo, I mean, he was annoyed at himself, probably still annoyed for handling that ball into the net just before the half-time whistle. But yeah, he was looking to just pump the ball forward and ended up slicing it out of play on that occasion.
As Chickson works it on, Moore works it on, looking for the ball forward down towards Beautyman. Beautyman on towards Moss. Moss just outside the area, goes where to Kelly Evans. Deep cross into the area, nodded away powerfully by Morrison. It'll come back towards Kelly Evans on this near side. Looking to bring it down. Supports from Akinola, who gets a big nudge in the back. Referee says play on, and United get the throw.
There was a clear nudge in the back, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Either the referee didn't see it, likewise the linesman, or he's just simply got away with that one, Corey Smith.
Hughes with a throw deep in their own half. It is 0-0 into the final half hour of normal time. Don't forget, if we don't get a winner in 90 minutes, we'll have extra time and then potentially penalties. Pistols at dawn, pillow fight. It'll be settled today anyway, one way or another. United with the ball back towards Reyes. Reyes will be closed down, but he will get the ball away and cleared on towards Kachunga, who can't get away from his man, but it's forced back towards Digby. Digby will go wide to Brophy on the left-hand side. Hugs halfway and back towards Danny Andrew. Plays it calmly infield. Corey Smith now sweeps it wide towards James Gibbons on the right-hand side. Now he's playing left-hand side of the back three first half. Swapped over when Okadina was replaced by Danny Andrew at half-time. And Andrew looking for the ball down the line. There's a chase for Lundalu. Defenders there and offside. Lundalu can't believe it. Flag was up.
No complaints from Dan Lundalu, but I thought he'd actually started his run behind the Woking man, but the flag was very quickly up, wasn't it? Right on the edge of the 18-yard box from the linesman on that far side, Jono.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that decision.
Yes,
but,
yeah, likewise, but I say no complaints from Dan Lundalu.
62 minutes in. Woking have a couple of subs warming up. They have 9 on the bench. Hughes have 7. Well, 6 now because Danny Andrews come on. As Woking smuggle the ball wide, level with the edge of the area, right hand side. Kelly Evans back to Akinola. Looking to work it on. Beautyman ball round the corner, and there was a foul on Beautyman just outside the area. Dangerous position as well.
Yes,
5
Digby,
yards outside the box. Is right of centre as well. Beautyman gets to his feet. And Jamie Andrews will look to line something up. It will favour his left foot.
I think it was Paul Digby, wasn't it, with the foul. It was well spotted by the referee, but again, I've been talking about these set pieces for Woking all afternoon, and could be where the danger really does come for United.
So Hughes with everyone back. A 3-man wall, 4-man wall has been constructed about 5 yards inside the area. Exuberant spray from the referee to show them where they should be. It will be Jamie Andrews to take, left-footed. Reyes lines his 4-man wall up. Andrews to take this one. It'll favour an in-swing, and it curls it in towards the near post, off the post, and it's smuggled away by United. It crashed against the near post with Reyes beaten. Really good free kick from Jamie Andrews. United escape. Huge escape. Really nice free kick. 0-0.
Yeah, it was brilliantly hit, wasn't it? Nicely curled beyond and away from Vicente Reyes, and the United collective out there, likewise, the coaching staff will be breathing a huge sigh of relief. Wouldn't have been a surprise because they've been dominant in the opening 20 minutes of this second half.
Yeah, it's not just the post hit, it was the inside of the post as well. Yep. That was a big let-off.
Yeah, just no one there reacting to follow up and put it into the back of the net, thankfully for United, and they need to sort themselves out here a bit, the U's, and have some possession of the ball. They've gone absolutely nowhere near that goal away to our left, Jono, in this second half, have they?
This is one of those drifting performances from United at the moment, as a Woking man's down, holding his face, and Lundalu's having no sympathy whatsoever. The referee wants a word with Lundalu, so just calm down. Woking man has got to his feet. It's Dan Moss.
He's just been a bit too vociferous at times, hasn't he, Dan Lundalu, in trying to get his viewpoint across. And
Lundalu was saying to the referee that Moss had made a complete meal of it, and I think he's right. But it's referee just needs to calm things down. Jamie O'Connor's got a long word with Lundalu.
Yeah, no booking, but
no, that's fair enough.
You wouldn't imagine he's too far away from being yellow carded, Dan Lundalu.
No, quite agree. Throw to Woking on the halfway line. It is Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. 66th minute on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. There's a pull forward towards the halfway line, nodded forward by Woking once more. Moore holds it up, United clear. Brophy was caught ever so late by Kelly Evans.
Well, he will be called back surely for a yellow card. That was horribly caught, wasn't it? And he's being called back by the referee now, Jono.
Yeah.
Well, he launched the ball upfield, didn't he, James Brophy? But it was a horribly late challenge, and I think he'll be okay, James Brophy, but that could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
It was... Well, you could hear the U's and the R's, not just from Jono and I.
No, it was from us as well, but Kelly Evans goes into the book. Woking's 4th man in the book. Referee has had a decent game, actually. I don't think I would argue with any of the bookings.
No, likewise. Disagree with that.
United with the free kick, just shy of halfway on the left-hand side. Danny Andrew to take. Brophy's to his feet. None the worse for wear. It's United, Woking 0, Cambridge United 0. Andrew to take. Signals his right hand and launches it in that general direction towards the edge of the area, where it's nodded away by Dyche for Woking. Nodded out wide by Moore to this near side. Brophy will pick up the pieces for the United, looking to turn, looks for a bit of help, goes back towards Danny Andrew. United in possession again with James Gibbons. Looking for support from Morrison inside his own half. Wide to the left hand side, Danny Andrew. United looking to play out from the back. Smith back to Morrison once more. 0-0, just coming up towards the midway point of the second half on BBC Radio Cambridge. With me, Mark Johnson, Doug Shulman alongside. Woking 0, Cambridge United 0 in this FA Cup first round tie.
And United really struggling to put moves together here and advance up the pitch.
Brophy back to Danny Andrew inside his own half on this left touch line, closed down by 2, hooks it down the line and out for a throw. It's all a bit aimless at times from United.
It is, yeah. I mean, they're being closed down quickly in the central midfield areas, as we said.
Nice touch from Beautyman. He'll look for the return pass as well from Moore, but there is Digby to get back and block Danny Andrew actually to get back and block him off, make sure the ball goes back to the keeper. Yeah, good defending.
Yeah, good collective defending as well. He blocked him off, didn't he? And a couple of used defenders there as well, just to see off the danger.
Ball back towards Morrison. Morrison with an emphatic clearance. Sooner with his header, and that comes back. Beautyman was offside, so doesn't go for the ball. Danny Andrew will clear long. Lundalu beaten in the air by Dyche. Support alongside Odesina getting it forward. Powerful header back by Digby. Little flick from Lundalu, and Kaikai and Lundalu were actually on the same inch of grass, and as a result the ball eludes both and through to the keeper.
Yeah, it's poor, isn't it, in terms of the communication. That front three, when they've had very little service, but when they have had opportunities to try and build something, there just hasn't been there, has it?
Nothing in the second half. As Kaikai heads it on, Lundalu gets it back to him. Kaikai now picks it up. United can break here. Got a man to his right and Kachunga, but the pass wasn't good enough. It was picked off by a Woking man who smuggled it back and blocked it back to his keeper. But the pass from Kaikai to Kachunga just gave him no chance.
Yeah, there's no chance at all. I'm not sure what you meant to do with that. And well, if it's Gary Monk, I'd be considering changes now, because that front trio, I know Kachunga sometimes playing a little bit behind or out to the right hand side. It's just not falling and working for United at the moment. They need to do something to change the course of this game for me.
Well, from attacking options, they've got Brandon Njoku, who's an out-and-out striker, and Manny Longello, who's more of a sign as a left wing back, but has been playing a lot more further forward than that. As United get the throw on the right-hand side, just over the halfway line in Woking territory.
You've got to be careful not to be too gung-ho in terms of your substitutions or committing too many men forward and getting caught out the back. You have to be a little bit sensible about things, but so they need to do something just to change the momentum here, because it's proving a little bit of a struggle, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Morrison wide towards Gibbons on the right hand side. He'll launch it forward, looking for Longello, finding only the head of a Woking defender. United will pick it up. Smith gets it forward. It almost came off the arm of Odesina, but he steps away from Hughes' man and goes wide, but he's given it away, and here comes Bennett, but his touch let him down, and Kachunga trying to win it back, fouls his man. Woking have the free kick, which they take quickly, and probably wish they hadn't. They went nowhere with it just for a moment. It is 0-0.
Yeah, it was a clumsy one, wasn't it, from Kachunga? Obviously booked in the first half, and no sign of any substitutions at the moment for United. No one even warming up as it stands.
Kelly Evans gives the ball away. There's Smith pushed to the ground. Free kick to United, which Digby wanted to take quickly, but Akinola stopped him by not knowing quite where the free kick was going to be taken from. The ball wide towards Gibbons on the right hand side, and he'll wander forward and he'll continue his charge forward, and he'll slip it past one. He'll look for the turn pass, doesn't come. Bennett will pick it up, and he'll looking to switch it towards Brophy. Didn't find his mark. One back by Liam Bennett and goes back into his own half.
He recovered well there, Liam Bennett. And the first pass didn't quite reach James Brophy.
Andrew with the ball forward, looking for Lundaloo, but the pass was overhit by a deal, by a postcode or two. Well, that's out for a goal kick.
Yes, in keeping with the way United have performed for large spells of this game, overplaced and mishit passes, and just doesn't give you too much of a hope in terms of your supply to the forward man, does it? Just need that little bit of quality to try and start working chances, let alone put the ball in the back of the net, Jono.
Yeah, nothing in the second half, absolutely shown nothing. 19 minutes of which remain. It is 0-0, but Woking the more likely. Ball over the top. Danny Andrew had to win it against two. Half clears his lines. Kelly Evans gets it further forward for Woking. Hughes again come a long way with Morrison to nod it out for a throw. Jordan Cousins starts to warm up for United. Match winner last Saturday. Kelly Evans wins the ball back for Woking. Ball in from Moore to Akinola, looking to roll it back in field. Collected by Jamie Andrews. Andrews with a shot, always rising, always going over the bar, and always being well watched by Vicente Reyes. It is 0-0.
He's had the two key shots of this second half, and perhaps even the only two shots, full stop. I don't remember a game when I've written so few notes down on my pad in front of me, Jono.
You should have been there last Saturday, Doug. Would have had a negative number of notes, if anything.
Could have written them on the back of a postage stamp, could you?
Easily.
Cousins 84, that would be the lot, wouldn't
that would be it. And Woking bring a man over to change his shirt. It's not even 5:30. For those who remember the old Ken Dodd song. Who's that? It's Akinola's come over to change his shirt. It's United going forward, and they're driven down that right hand side. Ball forced in field, looking for the run through the middle. Like me, slipped on towards Brophy! It's James Brophy's broken his long drought without a goal. A perfect volley into the top corner. He celebrates. United sub-celebrate. United on the counter-attack have the lead. Do they deserve it? No. Do United fans care? Same answer. Really nice finish from James Brophy.
Well,
it's Woking 0, Cambridge United 1.
He's been absolutely mobbed, doesn't he, James Brophy? We said that United need a little bit of quality from somewhere just to change the course of this game, and James Brophy has provided it. He had gone 156 games without scoring for Cambridge United. He's now finally broken that duck. Look at the smile on his face, Jono. He's absolutely loving that moment. And United finally have found the breakthrough with a brilliant strike, you have to say, from James Brophy. Absolutely leathered that into the top corner.
And again, it came from a counter-attack from United. They're second of the match. They've only had two counter-attacks this whole game. And they've got the ball in the back of the net twice. One disallowed. The second one absolutely was allowed. Yellow card shown to someone in the Woking technical area.
He's still smiling, James Brophy, look. Well, it's been a bit of a wait, isn't it?
150 what?
156 games prior to today, he'd gone without scoring.
And you know, he knows that.
Of course he knows it.
He does.
I might have reminded him a couple of times.
Well, you can ask him again. Hughes lead by a goal to 0. James Brophy on target for the Hughes. Picked up. Andrew to go wide. United just need to dig in for a few minutes as Woking going forward down the right hand side, looking to get the ball forward. United with numbers back, clearing the lines. And there's calm play from back in towards Corey Smith, who's caught in possession. United look to try and clear their lines and haven't done so. Woking back once more with Jamie Andrews wide, but finding it wide towards the left hand side, and he'll get the ball back as well as he steps in field. It's wide again, chased all the way down by Digby. There's the ball deep into the United penalty area, and Reyes has to come and claim, and does, with the aplomb of a man picking apricots in a French orchard. It is Woking 0, Cambridge United 1.
Well, now they've found themselves that goal. James Brophy will say it was worth the wait.
It was definitely worth the wait. It was speaking of apricots, it was a peach of a goal.
It was a brilliant strike, you have to say. But all about game management now for United.
Or getting a second as the ball goes forward, and there's a chase down for Lundaloo. Keeper comes out quickly and gathers it. He's just caught as he did so.
I wonder if Woking now are looking back on that opening 20 minutes when they had so much of the ball but weren't able to get the reward of a goal and capitalise on that possession.
All nodded for. Beautyman would chase, and Reyes on the edge of his area will clear his lines. Helped on by Kachunga. Lundaloo wanders back, looking a little winded at the moment actually, Dan Lundaloo. Is working on that left-hand side. United with everyone bar Lundaloo behind the ball at the moment, working force back towards halfway line. Hughes fans in full cry opposite. All picked up again on this near side. I'd have seen it, but he's run into Brophy, and Lundaloo comes away with the ball and then can't find the pass, and United give it away. That's poor, and Andrew would come away with it, but it's well won back by Bennett, who has to snap into the challenge the second time and the third, and he's again come away with the ball. Brilliant from Liam Bennett, and it needed to be as well, as he crosses the halfway line on the right hand side, lays it off. Ball comes back to James Gibbons, then Morrison inside his own half. Hughes have changes imminent. There's the ball wide towards Brophy, the goal scorer, looking at the ball on towards Lundaloo, tries to turn it around the corner, marked really well. Brophy wins it back for United. It's back to Andrew, lays it off towards the right hand side. James Gibbons lays it off to Paul Digby, shy of halfway. Hughes lead, 14 minutes to go. It's Bennett with the ball in field, but that was too tight really, and as a result United squandered the throw. Kachunga thought it was a United throw, more in hope than expectation, I think. And Woking have a couple of changes in mind.
Yeah, it's about throwing caution to the wind for them to an extent as well, isn't it?
Akinola comes off. And Dale Gorman comes on. Like for like, really. '78th minute. Fresh legs in midfield really for Woking. It's Woking back in possession. Gorman slices it forward. Well won back by Danny Andrews strongly. Gorman again nods it forward. Was pushed over. Play continues. Ball wide to Kelly Evans on this near side. United with a change coming up in a minute down on the near touchline. Ball into the area. United have to be careful here. It's hooked back into the danger area, and it's headed straight into the hands of Reyes. It was Beautyman from an inch out either side of Reyes. That was 1-1. And United got lucky.
Yeah, they did a little bit. There was not quite enough power on the header, was there, for the Woking man, and United just got away with it on there. But these few moments after United have got that goal are really, really important, just to quieten things down, settle things down a little bit, and make sure they have that control that we keep talking about, Jono. But bit of a let off there.
Yeah, they've had a couple. Long clearance forward, headed away by the Woking defence. Hooked upfield by Gorman, nodded away by Morrison for United. Bounces into the Woking half. They want to go back to the keeper and do. Jeskalainen, who had no chance with that wonder strike from Brophy.
Yeah, so well hit, wasn't it? No chance at all. And
there's more on, and Brophy clears down the line. Looks for a free kick, nothing doing. United. Oh, it's kept in brilliantly on this near side by Kelly Evans. Did really well, plays it in field. Moore gets it back to Gorman, slices it across towards the left hand side. Chickson will go wide towards Conte. Conte will charge forward on the left, dancing in field. Bennett has his mark, has his number, wins the ball off him, comes away with possession, holds it up and gets it back to James Gibbons behind him, who can clear for United. Lundaloo held at bay. He's had little change out of that back line for Woking. Andrews getting it forward, held up by Moore, support behind him from Gorman, 30 yards out. Gorman clipping it wide towards Kelly Evans on the right hand side, just outside the area. Ball down the line towards Beautyman, forced away. Ball back into the danger area, deep testing cross, half cleared, falls Gorman 30 yards out, thought about the shot, takes a deflection, diving to his right, Reyes able to prevent the corner as the deflected shot was going wide. Woking 0, Cambridge United 1.
Yeah, Jamie Andrews wasn't it with the shot, it was wickedly deflected. He did really well just to change his footing, Vicente Reyes, and not only prevent it going out from the corner, but to clear the danger for United. But he's a danger with those long-range shots, isn't he, Jamie Andrews?
2 more attacking players about to come on for Woking as Kai beaten away by Odesina. He'll get the ball back on this near side, the Woking right-hand side, closed down by Kai. It's not really been a factor today.
There was a Kel Watts still waiting to make his entrance into this game. He's been down on the touchline for a good 2 or 3 minutes now, waiting to come on.
He's working with the ball back towards Jääskeläinen. 9 minutes plus stoppage time remain. It's Woking 0, Cambridge United 1. Long ball forward, looking for Moss, finding only Danny Andrew, heads it away. Kelly Evans behind him, keeps it in, looks to get to the byline. And across comes Morrison to put the ball out for throw to Woking. And who will make the changes?
There's Jordan Cousins as well, Jono, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
The pencils at the ready because there's changes for both sides by the looks of it.
The referee just having a look, seeing who's coming on. Well, the 4th officials board seems to have worn itself out. You can see the flicker of it in the shade there. And changes being made. Woking, I think. Is that Watts coming on for Kachunga, actually?
Well, that's to shore it up, surely.
And a yellow card shown to someone there. Is that Barry Corr again?
Probably.
He's got the air of someone who's just had a yellow card.
Yeah, he looks a bit grumpy, doesn't he, Barry Corr?
He does. And Paul Digby comes off, I think, and Jordan Cousins will come off.
All changed for United. It's got an air of just shoring things up a little bit. Fresh legs in midfield just to shut things down, and a bit of height at the back in terms of the fact that Woking are bound to lob plentiful balls into that area just to try and unsettle United.
Well, this is the longest and slowest set of substitutions I've seen in many a long year. Ward will come off, I think, and Kendall will replace him. Sorry, it's so as Moore who comes off, so striker for striker. And the other change sees Stretton will come on. There's another striker, and he'll come on place for Conte.
Yeah, signed on loan yesterday from Stockport yesterday afternoon, very late in the day. We weren't entirely sure. It didn't say on the Woking website in terms of the article relating to him whether he'd be eligible for today, but clearly signed in time.
Yeah, there may have been another change made there. Ward may have come off, but I've lost track, quite honestly. Yeah, Ward has come on, but I'm not sure who he replaced. And as it's for Woking, we'll only need to worry about that if anything happens. With United trying to get the ball forward and getting a free kick just outside their own penalty area. It is Woking 0, Cambridge United 1.
Well, we said pencils at the ready. I don't know how many substitutions there were, though. I completely lost count in the
there
end.
was five in that particular stretch. Yep. Yes, I've got the United ones. So where's Kel Watts playing? Presumably on the left-hand side of a back three still.
Well, it's not going to be light for Kachunga, put it that way. But it's just that little bit high, in all seriousness, Jono, that they're looking for. So he's picked up a position on that left-hand side.
Yeah, so Danny Andrew plays a little bit further forward, I presume. Well, United, they're playing 4 at the back. They might even go 4 at the back, actually. So Danny Andrews playing a little bit further forward, and so is James Brophy, for that matter.
Yeah, it will become a back 5 at times. In fact, Danny Andrews just now jogging back into that left-sided role.
As the ball down that far side, Ward on the counter-attack. Flag goes up for offside. Ward, who replaced someone just a few minutes ago for Woking, will be flagged for offside. So it is Hughes lead by a goal to nil. James Brophy separating the two sides with a lovely strike on the counter-attack.
Yeah, so just to recap those substitutions of Woking: Charlie Kendall, Jack Stretton and Matt Ward all coming off the bench to play a part in the final few moments. United will hope it's the last few moments. They're replacing Dean Moore, Raheem Conte and Dion Kelly-Evans.
Thank you. So they've taken the right back off, really. And they've gone to three at the back as well. Might leave gaps, but Woking pushing forward now. Down the left-hand side, looking to try and deliver something. Ward on the left wing, looking to try and deliver something against Liam Bennett, who sticks to his task and puts the ball out for a throw to Woking. 4 minutes remain, plus stoppage time. Hughes lead by a goal to nil.
There'll be a fair bit of that as well. I'm certain that flurry of substitutions took 5 minutes.
Or at least. Felt like a month. Ball across towards this right-hand side. With Dyche playing on the right-hand side now of a back three-ish. He's been crowded out. United will get the throw. Well, Woking have got to go for it, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
United can sit in and try and pick them off on the counter.
Exactly. I think that's something behind the substitutions in terms of when there comes another one, Jono.
United make another change. It's Brandon Njoku replacing Dan Lundalu.
Yeah, not the best of games for Dan Lundalu. He's had very little service in his defence, but he has had one or two opportunities and had the ball at his feet, not quite created enough. It's been a frustrating afternoon for him. Of course, had the ball in the back of the net, but via his hand as well.
Yep. He's just inching their way down the pitch with a series of throws on their left-hand side. As Knight has well and truly fallen here in Surrey. Has it fallen on Woking's FA Cup campaign? As Odesina gets the ball back to Jaskalainen and the Woking keeper, who launch it forward, right-footed. Hit and hope now for Woking, and the flag goes up for offside. And that's the thing. Well, that is really good from Hughes' point of view, because that's the third combination they've had with back three today.
It is. There's been lots of chopping and changing, partly through, we're imagining, injury in terms of the knock to the head to Jibril Okadina. Obviously, Kel Watts coming on, and a switch from left to right for James Gibbons. So there's been plenty going on in that respect, if not for the action actually with the ball at your feet or creating opportunities. It's been...
Well, United produced virtually nothing in the second half, and not much more than that in the first.
They provided a key moment as it stands.
Well, that's exactly it. As United get a free kick, as Bennett in the wars again, it is.
Yeah, he'll be glad of wearing that headband, because that was a little clonk on the head he got there, I think.
It was. Absolutely.
He'll be a bit cute and just stay down for a few seconds, just to...
Not long enough to need the trainer, obviously.
No.
He gets to his feet quickly.
Quick chat with the referee.
He's referee who's taller than any of the players on the field, actually, which is not something you see normally.
No, he's a sizable character, and he's had a busy afternoon, really, in terms of all the substitutions and one or two controversial decisions, or the bookings as well.
He's had a good afternoon.
He's been decent, hasn't he, this afternoon? Yeah. You have to say. We don't always talk about referees in the right light, but certainly this afternoon we are.
There's a minute or so to go. Hughes lead. Ball deep in Woking territory. They hoik it forward. Cross comes... Kel Watts to nod it away. And Hughes will pick it up again, looking to thread the ball through. And so, it's poor touch from Cousins, I think, in the middle. It goes across, fouls his man. Free kick to Woking.
Sully Kaikai, wasn't it?
Kaikai. He's had a bit of a stinker, hasn't he?
He has. He's been anonymous at times, shall we say, but I don't know what was in his mind there. The ball straight to the feet of the Woking man, and I think he's earned his start here this afternoon, because his performances have been a touch better over the last few weeks. The goal at Stevenage, but yeah, he's...
Well, United have to play better than this next Saturday.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, huge game for him.
Free kick deep towards the edge of the United area, headed on by Moss. Shot on the half turn by Dyche, and it's into the hands of Reyes. Good shot by Dyche. It was low along the ground, and Reyes had to get down well to get everything behind it. Made it in the end look like a fairly perfunctory save. 4 minutes to be added, a minimum thereof.
Well, I think that's generous for United. They expected a lot more than that. In fact, the Woking coaching staff on the touchline in front of us shaking their heads when that board went up. When you consider the number of substitutions, I think trainers have been on the field once as well. Here's a surprise.
Use one mind. There's Jääskeläinen back in possession.
We might even get home in time for our tea, Jono.
I hope so. As Jääskeläinen launching it forward, off balance as he did so. Cousins will nod it back. And brought down by Chickson on the left-hand side. Forces it wide towards Ward. Ward now looking to run at the United defence. Continues doing so. Bennett's across there for United. Ward continues his run. Bennett gets back at him. Goes to ground. And Ward gets the free kick close to the corner flag on that left-hand side. United just a little too anxious.
Yeah, it was a purposeful run. It was a good little battle actually between him and Liam Bennett. Was another United man came back to support him as well, but he's done well to win the free kick. It's in a decent position as well, Jono, isn't it?
It is. It's like a short corner, really, isn't it? It's perhaps 5 yards in from that left corner flag. Woking will send everyone via Jääskeläinen forward. Oh, there's one defender back as well. United with everyone back inside the area. We're into the second of the 4 minutes to be added. Now they want everyone forward, bar Jääskeläinen.
There's a bit of sorting out, I think, for the referee to do. It's busy in an underground station in that 6-yard box at the moment, isn't it?
It is. It looks as if he's standing on a box, the referee is towering above the others, above the players. Free kick then, swung in, right-footed.
Big moment.
Everyone back for United, pushing and shoving in the box. It's swung short towards Gorman on the edge of the box, goes back wide towards that far side. They overrun it. Now they get the ball back into the area and play it wide towards this near side. United will send men across, and as they do so, Woking have a man off balance, and they do well to force the throw. In the end, it was forced out for that throw by a United defender. I think it was Watts who got across. So welcome listeners in the north of the county. Hughes leading by a goal to nil. We're into the third of the 4 to be added, but Woking knocking at the door. A long throw to be projected into the United penalty area. Everyone back for United, and their Sharps rifles green. Ball into the box, looking for the flick on. Comes off a Woking head into the area. Shot on the half turn, doesn't come. United smuggle it wide, but it might come back into the box once more. Half cleared. United chase them out. Gorman gets it back towards the right hand side, looking for the ball down the line. Good run down there by Andrews, and he was just tagged as he did so. And Woking will have another free kick.
Well, there's a booking here for Danny Andrew, is it?
I think it is.
Well, they're playing themselves into trouble, aren't they, United?
Andrew goes in the
close.
Andrew in the book in the 94th minute. Final minute of advertised additional time. Free kick to Woking. United with everyone back in the area. Woking with everyone forward, bar the keeper.
And they will not want to throw this one away so late in the game, United. We've talked about the set pieces, and that one last bit of defending United need to do here.
Corner will be swung in, left-footed. It'll be January Andrews to take, left-footed in swinging. Use have a one-man wall. It's delivered in deep towards that far post into the hands of Vicente Reyes, who collects it easily, unchallenged as well. Folds himself gracefully to the ground, holding on to the ball. United in the end defended it just about well enough.
It could possibly be the last throw of the dice for Woking. The 94 is up, Jono.
We're into the 95th. Long clearance by Reyes. Long, deep, booming clearance, knotted away by the Woking defence. Helped on its way by Kai, and Jocko can't get there. Swept away towards this near side. Andrew thought about coming for it, made the right decision. I don't think he would have got there. Woking wide towards this near side, and Stretton runs it out. And you can fire up coconuts as United inch their way into the second round of the FA Cup. It was never pretty, it was never convincing, and it was always a mite fortunate. Woking had the best two chances, both to Dyche at the end of each half. missed an absolute sitter of a header from 4 yards. Not enough contact, putting it wide in the first half. Second half shot on the turn, which was an easy save for Reyes. You know who's had the ball in the net in the first half, stroke of half time, when Dan Lundalu on the counter-attack bundled the ball over the line with his hand. Referee spotted that. But they had the ball in the net with the second half, with 74 minutes on the clock, and it was a goal worth waiting for from James Brophy, who's gone 154 games since his last goal. It was a peach on the counter-attack, ball fed out to him, took a touch and volleyed it into the top corner. Keeper no chance whatsoever. Brophy's glorious goal gives United the win, but boy did they make hard work of it. Final score here, it's Woking 0, Cambridge United 1.
Jono, let's do some James Brophy stats then. What was Doug's number? How many games?
I think he said 154. 156, it was even more than that. 156 since his last goal. I tell you what, Pete, it was really worth waiting for. It was. He's been promising that. He nearly had one in the first half, actually, when he hit one really sweetly. It took a bit of a deflection. It took a really good save to deny him as well. But the key here, really, from a Hughes point of view, the only 2 times they looked really threatening was on the counter-attack. And that, I think, is the story of how United are set up still. It's a throwback to how they've been for several years. So they went back deep into their DNA, had one in the net, that was ruled out in the first half on the counter. The second one on the counter, no chance of that being ruled out. The rest of the time, all I can say is they're in the next round. Draw tomorrow. Rest of it, forget about it, unless you're James Brophy.
Yeah, it was always likely to be a bit of a struggle on the basis of what we'd seen against Wigan, Stevenage and Burton. We did wonder whether maybe the fatigue of the Burton game, is that a bit of a mitigating circumstance? But basically, the way the U's are playing at the moment, they need to find that space on the break, and fortunately they only needed the 2 opportunities this afternoon.
Yeah, you've got 2 ways of scoring, haven't you? If you rule out set plays, you can either score on the break, or you can have that little bit of craft to create openings. And today and last Saturday against Burton, they did not have the craft to carve out much in the way of chances, or anything really in the way of chances. And it took something a bit special to break through Woking today, who, as I say, had the best chances and will feel bitterly disappointed. But it's the way it goes, and we've seen it from the U's earlier in the season. Have as much of the ball as you like. If you don't stick the ball in the back of the net, you're not going to get anything. And that was the case for Woking today. And United, well, fortune or not, they're in the next round. That's all that matters.
Not a match that will be making anybody's memoirs aside from James Brophy, if he ever gets around to writing them. Cambridge United in the hat in the second round draw. Not exactly a stylish 90 minutes, but getting the job done. Talking of scoring goals, never a problem for Peterborough United. Posh 2-0 down after the blink of an eye at Newport, winning the game 4-2. Ricky J. Jones coming off the bench. Gabby Zakwani, have you managed to catch your breath? I feel like I say this to you every single week. Have you managed to catch your breath?
Yeah, I have actually. I mean,